Hello there. Um, well, if I can say one thing real quick before I give a bunch of, smart-ass sort of answers to some questions here. I'm just gonna say one thing real quick. If our political system here in the United States was, in a sinkhole before, pretty deep one, it's now in the Mariana Trench. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not the best one, but I'm trying to be creative, okay? And I'm trying to do this as politely as I can, right? But I am not happy at all with what happened. I do not feel 1 ounce of pleasure or joy knowing what the state of this country is going to be, at least for the next 4 years. I don't know anything past that, and honestly, I don't even know what's going to happen in these next 4 years. Probably other than just, just a lot of life goes on as usual, right? Like, I'm probably continuing my education here at Berea. I'll finish it up. I'll get some job experience. I'll do a lot more on this YouTube channel of mine. All the good stuff, right? And that's all good. Personal life might be fine. Probably will. But I know this. I don't feel like I can trust people. I don't mean in the sense they wouldn't provide me with basic needs. That's not what I'm talking about. It means I don't trust people in this country. Well, that's a very broad thing, so let me specify. I don't trust a lot of people in this country to actually make decisions that are good for them, or for this country for that matter. I'm extremely displeased with what happened. And let me just get the facts straight here, right? So, Trump won the presidency, and I feel so many things right now that I don't even know where to start. But let's say a few things, shall we? One, honestly, heartbroken. I feel sad. Honestly, I don't know what exactly I'm thinking here, but it's just tragic on just so many levels that, and I've probably said this again and again, whether here on this channel or outside, probably mostly outside of this, because, channel's still pretty young, but that people not only knew that this dude is a convicted felon, who's been, for starters, taking a lot of extra money, used charity money for selfish purposes, been accused by a lot of women on charges of sexual misconduct, rape. This is not okay. Like, why, and this is a rhetorical question, but why the fuck would people do this? I don't. I understand, but I don't understand, if you get what I'm saying. It's hard for me to really fully just, I don't know, get why people would do this. And, I don't know, maybe this is a little harsh, so who knows? Maybe, I don't know how much I actually believe this, and believe me, I don't want to, but And honestly, I would say this. I am curious how many people of my generation, Gen Z, voted for the scumbag. I don't know. I wish I knew, so I could make some kind of assessment on that front. So, but as of right now, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, so this is 11/6. It's the day after election. Yeah, it was really cool voting. Unfortunately, it didn't do squat, but it was nice to know I did it. My first election, didn't go the way I wanted it to, but
you get it?
yeah. I mean, he won, right? I'm not gonna be like Trumpo and his dudes, which apparently is now a majority of this country. So I guess I can just say Americans, because most of this country is now scumbags like him, or something along the lines of it, or will be. I feel like, and they don't give two shits. They say, you know what? We're into his license laces. We're into just saying, nope, we don't care about the rest of the world. They can go fuck themselves. Like, what? But yes, he wants to do America first, right? And I get that he wants to only focus on relations internationally that have some kind of transactional benefit for the United States, right? I get wanting to do business to, get some kind of benefits or whatever. Like, that makes sense. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. However, this dude, I don't think he cares about anyone other than himself and maybe some people close to him, but I don't know. I don't know how much I'm sorry, I gotta check the time. Okay, because I have a research study program I need part of. It's required for my psychology class. I have to complete a few of these in order to, pass the class. Okay, I have a little time. So I also want to say something else. I'm actually, I'm probably going to want to say a lot of things, so I'm just going to go ahead and say them. I mean, it's my own fucking channel, so, whatever. But, I don't think I hate most people here. I think I just feel very disappointed. I feel very disappointed by the fact that a majority of people, not all people, there was a lot of people that voted for Harris, so I congratulate those who did. Or maybe who decided to vote third party, even though that basically never works. Although it should, I think third parties are definitely important. We should have more, more than a two-party system in all means. But regardless, anyone who didn't vote Republican, I applaud you. I don't know what your beliefs are, what your background is, or anything like that, but if you're someone who voted for Harris or just not Trump, I thank you. I thank you for trying to do something in this democracy. Whether you were terribly concerned about the state of affairs or national affairs, or not, don't care. Just appreciate you not voting for that lunatic. And even though he won office, it's nice to know that not everyone's a fucking stupid moron. And look, I'm not saying that everyone who is a Republican or who voted Republican this time, or who's a right winger, or whatever term you want to use, right? Political term you want to use. I'm not saying that I think these are necessarily bad people. I just think they're not competent. I don't trust their intelligence. Excuse the bell. And you know what? And I'm still going to interact. I'm still going to try I'm still going to try to get to know people regardless of their, political affiliation, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we deserve to give people all some level of respect, right? So I'll try to give people their fair day in court. I'll try to understand and learn a little bit about why people do certain things that they do, because I want to stay curious. I don't want to become too closed off. As much as I feel like going about and just saying, screw it, if you didn't vote Democrat or Independent this year, fuck yourself and get out of my life. Or at least just say, you know what, I'm not going to interact with you. I don't care. Unless I have to interact with you, I won't. I refuse to associate myself with anyone who, voted red, Republican, whatever this year. And look, I just want to clarify, I'm not referring to all of American history because I don't know for those previous time periods, but I'm just saying for this time right now, and for like the last like 1 or 2 elections or so, this time in my life that I've lived through, where I've become more aware and I've learned about politics. And believe me, there's oh my god, still so many things I have to learn, right? So much I still don't know, and so many technical terms, whatever, that I'm not really sure of what they mean, and blah blah blah, so forth. But and I don't think that anyone who necessarily voted for Trump this year is, stuck in their idiocy phase, as I like to say. Actually, I don't. I don't like to refer to people that way. I don't want to use these terms. Believe me. I do not take pleasure in this. If people were smarter and actually made good decisions, I probably wouldn't be complaining as much.
It's just like...
I'd probably just complain about like minor things or some of my own stuff, right? Just, oh, hey, I need to improve a little at this skill or that skill, or maybe I didn't get like a perfect grade on this assignment, right? And yeah, and sure, that's not really particularly that important as much. I'd rather it be that than to talk about like actual people here, because again, they're people. But it's hard because on the one hand, like, I want to understand and I want to empathize or sympathize, whichever it may be in the circumstance, with people, right? And I really want to try. I grew up learning to try to understand where people are coming from. But at the same time, I don't think that necessarily trying to understand people necessarily excuses their behaviors. It doesn't mean that you have to like or agree with it. In this case, you don't have to even... in some cases, I think you should be allowed to say, or at least think, maybe it won't always be appropriate to say, but at least think to yourself and say to the people close to you that you trust, I don't like this. I don't approve of this. And you don't have to go around, trying to do these hate crime things. You don't have to do that, because let's be civil, okay? Right? I don't like the fact that more people voted for Trump, but like I said, I don't hate them. I don't think that they're necessarily inherently bad people. I don't think that they, couldn't change their mind, because I think that many of them can. I think most people try to do what they think is the right thing, and they try to understand from that. And a lot of people are just busy, and they're tired, and they're just trying to live their lives. So look, I get it. I understand. And I'm not shaming you for trying to do what you thought was the best thing. But I am shaming you for the choice that you made this one time. Not for every choice you've ever made. I'm not shaming you for the person you are. I'm shaming for the action you've done. For the decision to put a fucking fascist into office. I don't know what he's gonna do. And that both scares me a little bit, at least. And on a weird level, it makes me feel a little relieved, because I don't know, maybe he'll be so... I mean, he's already kind of lost his marbles, but maybe it gets so bad that I don't know, it just breaks down. Maybe he dies. I don't want people to die. I don't want him to die. But if he could just, just have a mental breakdown for one day, just one time, that's it. That's all I'm asking for. And just say, you know what, I'm done, right? I think that would be better. All right, and I wouldn't enjoy necessarily learning about the fact, because I don't take pleasure from people suffering. But, right, I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, I kind of do. Some of the stuff anyways. Let me check the time again. Okay, I still have a little while. So, yeah, because it's at 6, and it's about a little after 5:30 or so. I had dinner fairly quickly. I got out of PPD. So, anyways, I just want to say that I feel like, and I don't know how true this is, because I hadn't really thought about extremely so on this level, but if in my mind or in my heart or something, I kind of felt like that this is where we were going to go. And I just didn't, while I accept that it might happen, I just didn't want it to. And it did. Someone playing like the banjo or something over there? That's cool. Hope they're having fun. But I'm not the most worried for my own future. I mean, I somewhat am, but I'm especially worried for people like my mom, who's a teacher, or my younger brother, who's trans. I'm worried about that life is going to be much more of a hell for them, right? I mean, people already kind of disrespect. They definitely do disrespect both of them. Not just kind of, but they definitely do. And I mean, of course, like, not all the time, but I know they definitely have many times. And if that's already hard on them as it is, I don't even know where to begin imagining thinking about what Trump, what people in both houses of the Congress, because guess what? It looks like Republicans got both houses, probably. They got the Senate, and looks like they're probably getting, the House of Representatives too. And we already got Supreme Court, so literally all 3 branches are pubby owned. Yeah, that's my slang term, pubbies, for Republicans, because they're drunk, right? They made a bad decision. They're drunk on that. They're drunk on that idiocy. They're drunk on the stupid decisions they keep on making, things that they keep on believing, the lies that Trump and his administration, his fellows are feeding everyone, and they just gobble it up. They don't try to question it. They don't try to think further and say, I don't know, maybe this won't, hurt millions of people. I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing this right. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm being too generous in my description. Maybe they don't give a fuck about these people at all. Maybe they're glad that Trump got put in office, specifically because they want other people they don't like out. Right? They want, maybe some of these people, and I'm not saying all, but maybe some Republicans, some people who voted for Trump, regardless of their party, I don't care. Maybe they want people out. And to that I say, well, I was already planning on leaving, so thanks for just reinforcing why I don't want to fucking live here. Thank you for giving me further proof that you guys are fucking morons, and that this country is going down a sinkhole. No, down to the Mariana Trench. It probably won't end. It probably won't break into civil war or anything like that. I don't think that's the case. I was worried about it a little bit, but kind of realized, you know, maybe not that bad. But let me check the time again. Okay, we're still good. But you know, and look, I don't know how the rest of the world's faring. I don't know how much everyone else in the world is going to respond to this, you know, whether it be, you know, the politicians in Europe or Asia or Africa or South America. I mean, I could say Antarctica, but no one lives there, pretty much, except for the penguins. I mean, hell, you know, I'd rather, you know, I'd rather conversate with a whole tribe of penguins for, you know, 3 weeks than listen to any words from Trump, who just won, right? I'd rather go down to Antarctica and, you know, live with the penguins for anywhere from a few weeks to a few years. Might be nice. Might be nice being away from all of this shit. No one lives there. Be peaceful. It'd be cold as fuck, but you know, hey, at least the cold's nicer. At least nature's nicer. It can't. Yeah, sure, nature can be quite brutal, but you know, what are birds gonna do? Squawk at me? No, I ain't worried. Bring it. But I can live with nature. I can live with it. I don't want to live off the grid or anything, but if I have to, I might, but I don't think it's going to go that far. But regardless, you know, I just hope this won't. I just hope that things won't be too bad. And I don't know what I'm going to do about it exactly. I don't know what the things I'm doing here at Berea are necessarily going to do to help impact people to, you know, fight back, to say no, we want our rights. You know, we want, you know, the right for women to choose if they want to get an abortion or not. You know, we want, you know, the right to live in safety, knowing that, you know, gun ownership is not out of control. We want to protect the lives of, I don't know, every minority person, you know, every person that's black or Hispanic or Latinx or, let's see, what else? Or Asian or anyone who's an immigrant, anyone who's Muslim, anyone who's atheist, anyone who's a Jew, people of mixed races, people who don't speak English as their first language, disabled folks, teachers, pride, if I didn't say that already. Yeah, because, like, I actually care about people, and I'm not a fucking sociopath. I'm like this dude. Whether he's a psychopath or sociopath, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I mean, both are bad. Both are mentally insane. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but regardless, he's at least a little not so. And I think we don't even need to describe him further, because I think he speaks for himself. You know, his full incapacities are on display, and the world's watching. So, anyways, I gotta get going. Let me check the time again. Well, I still have a little bit, but I'll end it here. I just want to say, you know, I just hope for the best. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 years. I don't know what Trump and Vance is going to do, what their plans are. I have no idea what to expect. But regardless, I know that there's people out there who won't stand for this. You know, I have some friends, I have some family. You know, maybe not all my friends, maybe not all my family, but the ones that matter, the ones that I trust the most, they're there for me. We're there for each other. I trust them. You know, there's some good people here at Berea, and I'm sure if I need something, I can probably find someone. So, nonetheless, I just want to repeat again, I do not hate anyone who voted for Trump, anyone who's registered Republican, who voted along some kind of right-wing policies or anything like that. I don't think they're necessarily inherently bad people, but I'm afraid of what happens when a lot of people who really don't know what they're doing get together and make decisions. And this is what happened. So may God bless America and not let this country go down whatever bad stuff is going to do or have done to it. And give us the strength to get through this. To get through this and continue our lives, especially the millions of people who have to worry and live in fear right now that they might get deported or killed or just whatever other sort of extremely unfortunate. And you know, we're not going to say unfortunate, we're going to say horrendous fates belie them under Trump. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, but I sure as hell hope that whatever he does, the least amount of damage is done. We can make it through these 4 years. We can do it. We just gotta stay strong, work together, and fight for our rights. Fight for the rights of other people. Protect, you know, the other people in this world, because they need us, and we need each other. And we're better together than we are alone. And that's why I think isolationism is a fucking stupid strategy. So anyways, I gotta get going, and I said I need to end it, so I'm doing that right now. Good night.